Hey VC, Midge here, a guy in a hat who likes to talk about records, and today I'm going to Liverpool for a music festival. It's run by one of my favourite electronic labels, which I've mentioned many times on the channel, the Castles in Space label. So every year they do a festival they call Levitation at various different places around the country, and it's like a showcase of their label acts. So I'm on my way to Liverpool now. The train's delayed already, which is a great start. It's freezing cold, it's very early, too early for me, but yeah, I'll take you along and I'll keep you posted. Hey VC, so I made it to Liverpool, though I don't really know how. My first train was cancelled, so I had to get another train to Manchester and change there. Then I got on a train that was so packed that they stopped people getting on, and that's unheard of. And the only way I could get on was by squaring up to this guy, and we had an agreement where he'd breathe out and then I breathe in. So that's the only way I managed to get on the train. So I passed the time by counting his nostril hairs and trying to decide what he had for breakfast from his breath. But yeah, I finally made it to Liverpool. So the message here is, don't travel by train, it's shit.
You know, we've got no toilets, no air conditioning, no first class, and a trolley service of drinks and light refreshments will not be provided.
Hey VC, made it here. I'm at the Capstan Theatre in Liverpool, so I'm going to take you inside and show you what electronic goodies lie within. Hey VC, so you've been listening to past Midge, and this is present Midge. This is the Midge that's been to Levitation and come back and really enjoyed it, and is going to tell you all about it now. So as past Midge said, Levitation is a festival that showcases the artists on the Castles in Space label. And the aim of this video today is to tell you about this label because I absolutely love it and I've been following it for years. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about all the artists and show you a few of the records they've done. And the aim is just to try and point you in the direction of some really cool electronic music that you might not have heard of before, and some really cool artists and a really cool label. So I'm going to leave a Bandcamp link to Castles in Space down below this video so you can hear more about the artists, check out their albums, and investigate the label. And I hope that you do. I hope you have a dive in. So as you can see from the first part of the video, when I got to Liverpool, I couldn't help having a look around the Cavern Quarter again, and I went in Matthew Street Records, and I also went in Dig Records because I loved that shop. But I didn't buy anything because I knew that I was going to the festival and I was probably hoping to pick up a few titles there. So there were a few things I saw that I really wanted, but I've been buying too many records lately, so I just have to stop somewhere. But basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a series of badly recorded videos that I did of each artist at the festival, and then I'm going to hopefully give you a flavour of it, and then I'm going to show you a record that they've done. And you just saw Pulse Lovers. They were the first act on. So Pulse Lovers is a guy called Matt Handley, who's from Doncaster. He was joined on stage by John Alexander, a guitarist who sometimes helps him out at live shows. I'm going to show you an album by his now on the Castles in Space label. That's the famous Castles in Space logo. This is Northern Minimalism 3. And that's one of the Pulse Lover albums. So Pulse Lovers, it's got like a sort of, it does like a post-punk type sound. So it's got like quite an early 80s electronic vibe to it. It's got more like industrial rhythms and drones, but there is melodies there, but they're quite subtle. But his stuff tends to be more rhythmic, and as you can see from the snippet you've just seen. And like I said, this is from 2023, Northern Minimalism. And as with all Castles in Space titles, they all come on really cool artwork designs, and they usually come on some sort of unique colour runs. So this is this one. So yeah, look how cool that is. So yeah, that was Pulse Lovers. The next act that was up at Levitation was Low 5. And Low 5 is an artist, a bloke called Neil Grant. It was actually from Liverpool. And his stuff is really cool, really chilled out, sort of has like an ambient type quality, really chilled, really laid back, nice sort of gentle melodies and electronic pulses and things like that. I'd recommend his album, Persistence of Love. And obviously, again, Castles in Space. I think this came out in 2023, I think. Again, cool artwork. And I think this one is on a splatter vinyl, and I'm a sucker for splatter vinyl. So yeah, look at that. Cool, eh? So I'm going to give you a snippet of Lo-Fi from the festival right now. The next artist I'm going to show you a quick snippet of is Jo Johnson, and she's great. I really like her sound, and what she tends to do is sort of like long form improvised pieces. They're sort of like very melodic, very floating, very bubbly, lots of electronic patterns, lots of like hypnotic sounds and soundscapes, and it's sort of like an artist you can really lose yourself in. Like I say, a lot of her pieces are quite long form, and I really enjoy this album. This is by Jo Johnson. This is called Let Go Your Fear. This was released in 2024, and this is a great album. It's got only 3 tracks, but obviously the really long form, so it's a great album to put on headphones and just lay back and just let it wash all over you. It's just, you know, great sort of hypnotic sort of electronic type soundscapes, just really nice and sort of, you know, really relaxing, and they wash over you really nicely. And again, great packaging, really cool artwork. And this album again is on a coloured vinyl. So yeah, a bit like the Pulse Lovers, but with 2 colours. So yeah, beautiful album. That's an album I highly recommend you checking out. Yeah, Let Go Your Fear by Jo Johnson, and I'll give you a quick snippet of her set right now. Artist to perform at Levitation was Stone Anthem, and that's the youngest act on the label, and that's 18-year-old Archie Ingram. And his sound is sort of like, again, he's got 2 different sounds actually on record. He's got like a really cool sort of chilled ambient type sound, like drones and gentle melodies. This is his 2023 album, Between the Bliss. And it's, like I say, really chilled out, really cool pieces of electronica. But live, his sound is really different. It's got a shoegaze element to it. So you'll hear elements of like Spaceman 3 and My Bloody Valentine. It's quite a lot harsher live. His sets seem to be quite harder. It's a mixture of guitar and tape loops and electronica, as you'll see from the clip. But on record, he's a bit more chilled out, a bit more spacey, and a bit more relaxed. This is his first album. He's just released his second album on Castles in Space, but I haven't picked that one up yet. Again, on a coloured vinyl. This is on a really nice sea blue colour, and you get a really cool artwork insert and some cool little postcards with it. So yeah, that's Stoned Anthem, and I'll give you a taster of his set right now. Up is another one of my favourite artists on the label, and that's Lula York, and I've seen her play live a couple of times, and she's great. Her sets again, sort of like long form modular synthesis, she calls herself. And I'll be honest with you, I love electronic music, but I don't really know a lot about how it's performed. Obviously, every artist approaches it in a different sort of way. Some use modular synth, which are basically different synths that do different noises, different oscillations and wavelengths and things, and they're all tied together with patch cables and things like that. And that's what Lula York tends to use. How she gets these amazing sounds out of it, I have no idea. And you know, part of me really wants to know how these artists do what they do with all their little boxes, but part of me doesn't, because it just seems so magical. It's like all these artists are on the stage with all these little magic boxes that produce these amazing sounds, and I don't want to know, it might spoil it. But again, I'm really intrigued into how they do it. But like I say, she uses modular synths, and her sound is sort of like, it's quite playful, it's quite bouncy. Again, it's like long form soundscapes with quirky noises and things like that. But yeah, she brings sort of like an off-kilter vibe to her sounds. This is an album she's made on the Castles in Space label called A Man on a Galloping Horse Wouldn't See It. She has a thing for really cool obscure type off-kilter titles. So you've got From the Embers Sprang Red Roses, We Get to Be the Sky, Now We're Cooking on Jazz, May Your Feet Become Ears. But yeah, I love her. She's got such a great sound. I think she's got a forthcoming album on Castles in Space next year, but this is what she's got on there so far, like a primer. And again, this is on really cool coloured wax. Look at that, it's amazing. Superb. But yeah, Lula York, and I'll give you a taste of her set. is the artist James Adrian Brown. He used to be a guitarist in an indie band called Pulled Apart by Horses, but now he's taken a more electronic route. He uses lots of synths and stuff in his music, and his sound is quite, it's almost like a soundtracky in a way. It's quite minimal in parts. There's got lots of soundscapes, but there's also lots of rhythmic pieces, and it's quite dark and brooding at times. And he also has an album on Castles in Space that's out in January, but he has released an EP on the label called Terra Incognita, which is really cool. Again, sort of dark brooding pieces on there, all instrumental. This is on really cool coloured wax again. Look at that, that's quite cool. Really cool effect. And that was, I think that came out 2023. But like I say, there's two versions of this. There's a red colour and there's a green colour. And this one comes with a little CD of the demos of the pieces that ended up on this EP. So he's a very energetic live performer, as you'll see in the clip. So I'll give you a taste of his sound now. The artist that closed Levitation this year was one of my favourite artists on the label. His work is absolutely stunning. I can't recommend it highly enough. And it's a guy called Mark Burford, who's from Lancaster, and he travels under the name of Fieldline's Cartographer. And his sound is absolutely amazing. It's sort of like, he does like long, slowly evolving soundscapes, like ambient, drifting, really sort of involving type soundscapes, really draws you in. It's one of them artists that, they can do soundscapes that take you somewhere else. If you're on headphones, it just feels like they're creating another world out of sound. And honestly, I can't recommend him highly enough. He's made some superb albums on the label. If you go to the Bandcamp and click on his name, you'll see all the albums he's made, and he really is a superb artist. You really ought to check him out. It's fantastic. So I've just picked out one of the many albums he's done for them. And this is called This Vibrating Earth. This was from 2023, but he's got a new album out this very week on Castles in Space, so go and check that out now. I haven't heard it yet, but if it's anything like his other albums, it's absolutely superb. Honestly, it's like pretentious as it may sound, he makes really long sort of electronic soundscapes, and it's like another world. It's like he's creating worlds in your head as you listen to it. Like I said, I can't recommend him highly enough. And like I said, this one's This Vibrating Earth. Again, comes on a really cool colourway. So you've got like a triple colour there, triple colour vinyl. And honestly, yeah, you need to check this guy out. He's just fantastic. So that's Fieldline's Cartographer, and I'll give you a quick blast of his set now. was Levitation’25. Thoroughly enjoyed it, like I do every year. I hope they do one again next year. And lastly, a really cool thing that they did this year that they've not done before is they produced a special album, and each artist who performed at Levitation submitted an exclusive track for it, because they'd never done this before. So this was the souvenir of the day. It was the Levitation’25 album souvenir. So you had a track from each of the artists that performed on the day, an exclusive track. And it again comes on a really cool coloured vinyl version. So you've got like a swirly green, vortexy type colour, which was really cool. And I thought that was a great idea. My wallet didn't, but great souvenir of the day. Some great tracks that haven't been released before. Great souvenir of the day. And like I say, honestly, it's this great label. If you like electronic music, head to Castles in Space Bandcamp, check out some of the artists. Obviously, that was 7 artists who performed on the day. They have loads of other artists on the label. Perhaps most famously, the Warrington Runcorn Newtown Development Plan, which probably a lot of you have heard of, because I think he's the biggest artist on their label. But if you haven't, head over there, check out the artists. There's loads to choose from, even, apart from the ones I've named on here, but I do urge you to check them out as well. And one of my favourite labels. Absolutely love them, and I think more people should be aware of them. So that's just that was the point of this video. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you check a few out. So until next time, thank you for watching. Midge out.